I don't know, fellas.
I don't know either. Well, we're going live. We're going for it. And we
Sorry.
are. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh
Apologies.
shit.
Dude, usually we started out with like a rock and roll song or something. We didn't even do it. We're just right in, man. No foreplay. Just boom. It's Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're live now. Hey everyone.
We sure are. We have been.
Yeah.
And look who joined us. The man, the myth, the legend, Jahred from Head PE.
Yeah.
Yeah. Head PE Taproot doing our thing.
Right? Fucking A.
Right
You
on, you
know,
guys. It's good. I haven't seen you for 20 years, so it's
Yeah,
good to
right.
see you again. You
right,
haven't
right.
changed a bit.
We got some shows coming up together even, I think, which is kind of what was the genesis of this. Me and James were talking, and I'm like, dude, we should get Jahred on Taproot Tuesday. He's like, hell yeah. And we were talking about it last week, and it was like Monday or Tuesday. We're like, nah, we'll just skip this week and do it next Tuesday. And here we are.
Yeah, thanks for having me, fellas.
Thanks for being here. So what's been up with you, man? Tell us, catch us up on all things Head PE.
Well, here real quick. Let me fanboy for a second. 'Cause even though we toured together and all that stuff, like
You know,
one of my
doing.
one of my earliest
Go ahead.
memories, like when I first joined Taproot, I had just started playing bass. I've been playing bass for like a year and a half or 2 years or something. Joined Taproot, and Head PE was one of the bands that Mike and Steve had introduced me to. It's like 96, 97 ish. And I remember looking at the tour dates back then and being like, man, I can't wait for those guys to come to the, you guys never came to the Midwest at that time, right? I mean, it's still pretty early on in the career. You guys were still just doing the West Coast. But like, man, California's got all the cool bands. And then crazy just to have it like a few years later, we're playing shows with you guys, getting drunk with you guys.
Yeah, that's amazing. Hey, look, we got some people here on the Head PE Facebook signing in. Yeah, dude, I remember going to see you guys play like while we were on tour and just going to a club you were playing at. The shit was sold out and just fucking pumping. Great night, man. You guys
Oh
were
yeah,
great. So I'm so stoked that we're getting together to play after 20 years.
dude, it's the best time for it, man. Our genre of music's right back up there. People are interested again, man. And it's cool. We've ridden that wave. I'm sure you've had these ups and downs during your guys' career.
Mostly downs.
Sometimes, right?
Oh no, hey, dude, I can't complain because it wouldn't doesn't change anything, right? But
Well, you guys
yeah,
got some killer fans, man. You guys got. I remember seeing you guys. So I think I was touring with. I was playing bass for Smile Through Soul, and I think we did one of these festivals in Michigan together, right? And like Dirt Fest or something. And dude, I remember your guy. Like after you guys played, you did your merch thing. Your little and you were just selling so much merch. You guys were crushing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Man.
We've done
Like,
okay here and there on the little T-shirt sales.
hell yeah.
It's still my bread and butter. I'm a
Hell yeah,
glorified T-shirt salesman.
dude, you've
We
made
all
it
are.
work.
That's
I
what
mean,
we
like
do. We just
you will
travel
wear
the
the
world
shirt.
selling fucking t-shirts.
You'll wear the shirt on stage, right? This is my shirt. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
promos,
better than spending money on someone else's shirt.
right?
No, I'm kidding.
No, it's great. And some people can
I'm
pull it
like
off.
a
Some people
walking
can't.
billboard.
I think I would look cheesy as hell trying to do that, man.
Really?
But you pull it off. Like your guys' vibe, what you got going on, man. It works.
If you design a shirt that kind of fits your style, then you can run with
Right. No, man,
it.
great. Anyway, sorry to
So,
interrupt.
dude, yeah, where are we playing together, though? Remind me.
Oh, we got a couple,
Florida.
right?
Destin, Florida.
Yep.
And
You and Non-Point, right?
I think there's another one that's not in. Is the other one?
Not
Yeah, the
announced
other
yet?
one is Cadillac, Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Are you guys going to be on tour right then, or what?
We don't tour right now. We're mainly doing like weekend warrior stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
right on.
We're
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
doing a bunch of the Danny Wimmer festivals, and we just crammed in some headlining stuff in between, basically. To get there, to get back. Some little weekend
Right on.
stuff when the guys are at home.
Right.
Phil and a bunch of the guys have really good jobs. They can't really tour full time, so we kind of just make it work, man. We go out.
I wish I had a good job. Because if I
Me
had a good
too.
job,
Me too. I manage Taproot.
if I had a good job, I'd be doing more of this weekend warrior type shit. Because
Yeah.
I got this 2.5-year-old daughter,
Oh,
right? and the
Wow.
16-year-old son.
Yep.
You know, so but you know what? I'm not on the road like as much as I used to be
Of
either.
course. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, right?
Oh yeah.
Right on, man. Well, cool. So where are you guys broadcasting from right now?
Tom's in Wisconsin. I'm in Ohio.
Right on.
Yeah, I mean, no
Cool.
more California for me. I'm over it. I'm back in Wisconsin. Phil's in Cincinnati. Where are you? Are you still in L.A. somewhere or Orange
No,
County
I'm in
somewhere?
Eagle, Idaho.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Idaho.
And you're laughing at me being in Wisconsin. You're in
No,
Idaho.
I was just because he said Compton, Wisconsin. That was fun.
No, he said Tom's in Wisconsin.
Oh, I thought he said
But
Compton, Wisconsin.
Compton,
I
Wisconsin would be pretty
I
funny
thought that
too.
was pretty funny.
Yeah, you know,
Right.
it gets pretty street over here. It's pretty hard.
Right on, dude. Yeah,
I did hit a deer with our van and destroyed it a couple weeks ago.
Wisconsin.
No, you murdered.
Like
Murdered a deer.
right, because like Idaho doesn't have any like hoods per se.
Neither does
So
Wisconsin.
I'm wondering, Wisconsin doesn't have any. Like, what's the
No.
capital of Wisconsin?
Madison, Milwaukee's got some hoods, but that's
Right,
about it.
Milwaukee's pretty fucked up, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I've seen it on First 48 or something.
Mike.
So
Yeah, right. Yeah, there was some comedian. I don't remember who it was. It was Tom Segura, somebody talking about you never want to. You know where you don't want to go when you're on vacation? Anywhere where they film the first 48, and then he goes into this hilarious fucking monologue about God. Who the fuck wasn't? It's not Tom Segura. I'll remember it. It's fucking hilarious though.
I love
Anybody
Tom.
else knows? Let me
it
know.
sounds like something Segura would say.
It
though,
does,
doesn't
but I don't think it was him. It was fucking God, and it's something I've listened to 1,000. Was it? Maybe it was Tom Segura. If anybody knows, let me know. I gotta let my dogs back in. Hang on, talk amongst yourselves.
Right on, bro. Yeah, so we're leaving with Nonpoint in about 3 weeks.
Okay.
Because you know, I never found a way like some of y'all did to get a good job at home. So I'm still grinding out this fucking bar rock and roll heavy metal, tour life.
Right.
So thankfully, bro, we just had a record come out, and this is funny. You're gonna like this. And for 2 days, it was #1 on Apple Metal and Rock. And the whole time, I'm thinking, thank God, Tool or Five Finger Death Punch isn't releasing. Because
Right.
anyway, so yeah, at least we're getting busy because we haven't been on the road since last year, November or something.
Oh, you were out with Nonpoint last time too, right?
That's not true at all. Yeah, we are going out with Nonpoint, dude.
Yeah, dude, they wanted. I feel so bad. They were practically begging us to do more dates on that tour, and we just couldn't do it. Like they wanted us. Rob was like, "Come on, dude, just like 2 weeks," and I'm like talking to the guys, like, "We just can't pull it off. We wanted.
I literally use up my vacation days to play these shows.
I know, we really wanted to, we just couldn't.
Do you guys have family or what? If you don't mind me asking.
Yep, I've got 2 kids, married. Jared's got
17 kids.
Jared's got a bunch of kids. Steve's got a couple kids.
Right on, yeah. Because, dude, I met my wife, in the heyday, just to I think it was 2003. It was like 23 years ago.
That was straight up like blackout. That was like the real heyday.
That was broke,
was
dude.
it broke? Yeah.
Yeah, broke.
Yeah, it was like we still had all the original members. The first guy hadn't even bailed yet, which was Chad.
Yeah.
So,
God damn that! Yeah, that was before. Wow.
Yeah, it was before he left. I've been with her since then. Anyway, that's why I moved to Idaho. This guy here.
I figured, why the fuck else? It had to be a woman. There's no other reason anyone else would move to Idaho unless you really dig potatoes, maybe.
Right.
At least in like Boise, or are you at least in like Idaho? Isn't Idaho pretty close to like Washington too, like to Tacoma and shit? Isn't?
If you're at the top.
Yeah, Idaho borders Washington.
I guess it depends where. It's a big state.
Yeah.
Right. I'd say the border is an hour away.
Okay.
Yeah. So this guy says I tried to get Taproot in South Carolina after Blue Ridge got canceled, but it was
I remember that. and we really wanted to do it. The fucking Echo's back. We really wanted. We just at that point we'd already kind of we could just
Used
couldn't
up
do
all
it.
my
We were trying
PTO.
to figure it out, but what was that?
We had all my PTO used up already.
Oh no, just like the day after, like when we were still there,
Oh.
people we were trying to like get together a last minute show
Oh,
somewhere
yeah.
after it got canceled, and we just couldn't make it work. Everything was just.
What are
such
you saying?
short-
That Blue Ridge got canceled,
Yeah,
or what?
we played Blue Ridge this year. Literally, we got there, we got on the grounds. We were supposed to play at 3:00, and like 2 hours before we were supposed to play, I mean, we got paid. Everything was good, but it still sucked. We went all the way to fucking wherever the fuck, BFE,
What, due to
West
weather?
Virginia.
Yeah, they had some storms in and stuff. Yeah, it was interesting. It was it was a bit of a mess.
I hear you. Yeah, that happened to us, and then like you're saying, we got paid and everything, but it was because we got rained out. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
so did we. Same deal there. What
Exactly.
did you guys play this year? Or were you
We didn't
supposed to
play
play?
Blue Ridge this year, but
Were
we
you
played
last
last
year?
year.
Okay.
Yeah. We played it a couple times. I had more fun the first time.
Oh.
Right.
Well, that was your first mistake messaging Taylor. I mean, you should have messaged me. I mean, but yeah, no, we were trying. Well, it's funny because we were actually trying to
I'm
find
gonna message the new guitarist that's been in the band for
for like a week. Yeah, message him like, hey, dude, I want to put you guys on a show.
Excuse me. Yeah. So, dude, I want to answer this guy's question. Corey
Oh, please.
Wagner. He once says, Jahred, did you meet your wife before or after you did the movie DIY Guys? My wife is the girl in the movie, bro.
So
So
before
there you
is
go.
the answer.
Yes.
Unless you met her on the movie.
Before, because my son is in the movie. He's in his diapers, and now he's 6 foot and 16.
Oh,
So,
that's
you
crazy.
know.
They grow up so fast. My kids are like adults now, man. My one kid's 18, the other kid's about to be 18. It's fucking crazy, man. It blows my mind.
Your kid doing
Wow.
music, Jahred?
Yeah, I didn't want him to be. I was hoping he would go do something like be really into the books and be a lawyer, but it seems like he wants to rock out right now. He's 16 though. So he's tall, but he's seems like such a kid to me. Like
Right.
you're saying you have an 18-year-old. I'm wondering, what, in the next 2 years how much growing up he'll do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, my kids, it's crazy. Like yesterday, my kids were like 3, and now she's 18 and smokes too much weed and works at Taco Bell. Like that, I mean, again, it's not shocking, really. I mean, God bless. That's what kids do in Wisconsin. I think that's what
Right?
kids do everywhere, really.
And then the whole apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
No,
Really
that
hits
apple's
home,
right fucking
doesn't it?
here.
Oh,
Like that
fuck.
apple's sitting right here.
Right, dude? It's crazy.
Such a
So-
reflection. Kids are such
so-
a reflection of you, good and bad.
Yeah, dude.
So
I
for
try
me-
to be like his future self and going, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do that.
Oh,
You know what?
exactly.
Like if you remember when we were young, we weren't probably listening to too much that,
No. They'll learn on their own. You can give all the advice you want. It only makes sense after they make the mistakes and they look back and go, I should have listened to Dad.
Yeah. So-
yeah.
So I tell
Then
you
it
what,
rings true. Yeah.
So how far I go back with Head PE. So I don't know if you even remember this, Jahred. So Jive, when the first Head PE record came out, before it was even out, I had the first demos that they did, and I think it was like, I don't remember the fuck was on it. And Jive had, you remember Mike Tedesco wanted Jive to be a rock label. He signed you guys. He first hired me to do marketing. I started their street team. I did I did that Tupac record they put out, and then I got hired to start a street team for Head PE on the first record, and then they hired me as an A&R guy, and then I was one of your A&R guys on Broke and kind of into Blackout, and they were kind of grooming me to be an A&R, and I ended up being an A&R scout for Jive for like 12 years or something,
Wow.
yeah, so
Dude, I didn't know that shit.
Yeah, dude, I remember, but yeah, dude, I remember the coolest thing. I remember when you guys, and this was a huge break for you guys. Remember when you guys went out to Atlanta and opened that show for Korn with Orgy in Atlanta, and it was like a
We
big
did
fucking
2
deal.
shows. We did like a 10 or maybe 2 weeks or maybe 5 shows and into Florida as well, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
I
my
remember.
memory was that it was a huge pay like, the label paid Korn quite a bit or bought
Yeah.
their publishing for 1,000,000 or something like that,
Yeah.
and that's how we fucking got on that tour, that's what I or that's how
And
we
that
got those.
and that was so cool. Jive flew me out for that show. I remember I went out to the show in Atlanta, and it was just such a big deal. That was like the first big tour, and I think you guys had kind of been doing the like snot, like
Dude.
that kind of shit, which is
Oh,
awesome.
well, here's the thing that was rad. Excuse me for interrupting,
Please.
but like, it was like we were in like one of those Cruise America RVs, and we'd cruise into like the fucking underneath the basements, of arenas, and Corn have like 5 buses. And we're like in a Cruise America RV, just sleeping on the floor and shit. We toured with Motley Crue, and the same thing was the case. Motley Crue is one of our first tours, and like we'd show up in the Cruise America RV, just sleeping on top of each other, and
Right.
be 7 tour buses there. One thing I really miss about being on a major label is being able to just like get tickets to any show,
Yeah. Right.
right? And then because like my wife and I, we saw like Tool backstage, we watched the show from the side stage, and I can't remember some other shit, but maybe Perfect Circle too. But no, that was much later. But anyway, it was so easy to just get tickets for any show. I miss that
Dude,
shit.
I saw Perfect Circle. I saw Perfect Circle play at the fucking Troubadour. I think it
Oh
was their first
wow,
show.
dude! Yeah,
They
I
played at
played
the
the Troubadour like
Troubadour.
100 times when I was
Oh
a
yeah.
kid. Yeah,
Oh
dude.
yeah.
I saw the Bullet Boys there, which was an old hair metal band.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course. Yeah.
yeah. I saw also System of a Down there,
Oh
Hey, I
yeah.
saw
and
System of a Down. I saw System at the Coconut Teaser for the first time.
oh right,
That
I
was the
saw him at the
first time
Dragonfly.
Oh
If you
God,
remember that
I
joint,
liked the Dragonfly. The
that place
Dragonfly
was
was a
so
really
great.
cool club. I miss LA, man. You remember how cool? Like I remember when I first moved to LA, like in the mid '90s, and how fucking cool it was. And the Dragonfly and the Teaser and the Troop and there was rock
Dude,
clubs fucking everywhere, dude.
but let me tell you, it was great in the '90s, but in the '80s, like in the middle of the hair metal thing,
Oh yeah, I
it
missed
was
all
the
that.
hugest, gnarliest party on
I
Sunset every
tell you what,
weekend.
if I had a time machine and I could change one thing, I spent the whole '80s living in Wisconsin, wishing I was in LA. And then the second I was old enough, I moved there. That was all over. But then I just caught like all you guys, Limp Bizkit and all the stuff I worked on, So I kind of got up there in time for that. But one of my biggest regrets, and if I could change anything, I would have been old enough to live in LA through the '80s, man. That's my era, dude. You know what I mean?
Dude,
That's my shit.
you know what? And you're not the first person that I've heard say that. When I tell
Yeah.
them the stories of that, they're like, "Oh, I missed that," because they
I
just feel
envy
that
I
they
envy
just
so much
feeling
people
that
that
vibe.
grew up in LA and were old enough like to appreciate that, just the crazy. I mean, look, I feel really blessed. I got to. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this thing we do is like the last great major movement in American rock and roll. It is, man. Like nothing will ever be that big again. The mechanisms just aren't there anymore. The labels, the money, the mechanisms to make something that big. It will just nothing will ever be that big again. And we were kind of the
Well,
last ones who squeaked under the gate.
band culture is not what it was, and I don't
Yeah.
know if it will ever go back there, just because of
I don't
the
think it
changing of
can.
times and technology. As like with that has come like the death of like band culture. Not the death of it, but just much less. Like when we were young, since there wasn't computers and different ways to make music, you had to do a band just to make music.
Yeah.
You weren't just
Yeah.
gonna make it with your computer,
Yeah.
Right.
which you do now, which and I think it's great. It's punk rock and all that. I watch my son, dude, and he goes to like, he went to see the Suicide Boys and who's Travis Scott, so those are the new like rock stars, like There's still like huge heavy metal bands, but
Oh yeah, but all the huge heavy metal bands came out 20 years ago. Like even like Nothing More, like the ones that are getting Ghost, like those bands still came out 20 fucking years ago. It just took 20 years for them to get that big. Like,
right.
you know what I mean? Like think about it. Name one new huge band that came out more recently than like 10 years ago. There's not really any,
It's
you
a good
It's
know?
not.
fucking
No, it's difficult, man. It's
Like I
like
said,
we're fortunate. I mean, it's crazy because we've established. Like we were at the time where we've been able to somehow create an established name,
yeah,
right? So that brand's already there, even before brands were even a thing, right? So that now, fast forward here, we can still, somehow come back out, and we don't have to work like we're starting up from zero anymore, right? We've established
right.
that, but some like, I mean, there's just too many bands now to try to get that footprint out there again
yeah. Well,
for a
one
new
thing
band.
too, think about it though, Jahred. When we were kids, there wasn't anything else. There was kind of video games, but there was like drugs, music, and, like there wasn't much, man. Music was all we had. Like you devoted your whole fucking life to it. You know, that was it. There was now the kids have like 50 different things and all these different things they're into. Music is like something kids listen to. I don't. I mean, some do, but it's not like it used to be. Like we devoted our whole lives to music. Like everything revolved. There was, you were trying to find out about these bands and meet these bands and learn about these bands, and there was like a mystique to it. Now everything's on the internet and everything's available, and it's like there's really no mystique to it anymore either.
Yeah, it's not the same. I mean, very few bands have that. Like Tool's still one of them, right? Maynard, to a degree, right? He's been out there a little bit more, but
Yeah.
certain bands have that like that superstar power, right? When you see him, you're like, wow, that's that guy.
Yeah. Well, I'm older, so I'm not really keeping in touch with it anyway. But I kind of like through vicariously through my son try to get a picture on what the youth are into.
Yeah, me
You
too.
know,
Me too.
I definitely don't want to be like that old guy that's like, oh, back in my day or
Right.
whatever, because things have just changed.
Back
Obviously,
in my day, we played with Slayer at the Palace, and we walked uphill both ways in the snow while doing cocaine.
it's going to be harder for like my son, for instance, who wants to do well in music because there's so many distractions, like you were
Yeah.
saying, that there weren't when we were coming up. It was just music and drugs and strippers or whatever, At least it was just a three-pronged
And I was in
approach.
Wisconsin, so
Now,
there wasn't any strippers. Yeah, no, it's a different time. It's the same thing. It's funny. My kid, though, the older kid, Riley, is kind of more into like, she's not into rock. She's more like into hip hop and R&B, and she's a rapper, and she's actually super dope. She writes super dope
wow.
shit. But Jay, my younger kid, is into Taproot and My Chemical Romance and Korn and Ozzy and Motley. It's so funny. Like basically all the new metal shit and all the '80s shit. Like one day I walked upstairs and my kid was in the shower and I heard like Blizzard of Oz blasting out of the bathroom. I'm like, holy shit, I did good. I've never been prouder in my life at that moment than hearing like some obscure like Mr. Crowley or some random like deep cut off of Blizzard of Oz. I'm like, yes. So let me answer this question. My favorite venue in Wisconsin. I really like the Epic Event Center. I love the rave. I like 1175. So remember the last time I saw you, Jahred, you guys played at that place 1175, and I came out to the show that we're
I
playing
like
there.
that place.
Yeah, I do too. We're playing there next month, and that place is kind of I like the Q and Z. I mean, I guess it's a loaded question. I like a lot of venues in Wisconsin, and if there's anybody I left out, I'm sorry. I love you.
Yeah, I love playing. And we, of course, in our heyday, playing at the rave was one of my favorite places.
Oh yeah.
Me too.
It's such a trip. It's such a trip when you have a
I
great
love the
market
rave.
that suddenly falls off so quickly.
Yeah, right.
I hate that. Because, dude, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like after broke, it was like wow, like the roller coaster, a steep dive. And then, after we kind of were doing the indie label thing, then we had another thing go on with a couple indie records, and it came back up. And for a while there, I was like, "Whoa, this is just like
Yeah.
a ghost town."
Yeah.
My dude left
It
the
was though. There
show.
was
Where'd
that
he go?
period where it was really, really, really. You'll be back. You'll be back. It
Yeah,
happened.
it was
But yeah,
gnarly.
dude, there was a period
This
where
was
it kind
like
of like,
around
what was that?
2004.
Yeah, yeah. When everything was just like done. You're all Taproot. I mean, Taproot kept going for a while. They put out a few records. Then they broke up.
Right.
They literally just got back together last year after like they hadn't played in like 10 years. And a
Right.
lot of some bands just kept plugging away like you, which is impressive, man. How long you kept that band going for different lineups but it's always been good and it's always
Dude,
been
because
consistent and
fast money, right? I mean, for me, because I'm not like, sadly, I didn't learn, I didn't stay in school or whatever, but I didn't learn another,
yeah,
way to
me
make
either. This is
money
all I got.
as
I,
fast as like playing shows and selling T-shirts, like bam, 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 every night, bam, bam. I'm like, and I'm like, oh, you can work here and get this much per week, and I'm like, oh yeah, but I can make that much,
in a
in a
day,
night
in a night.
or whatever. So you get spoiled with that fast money, right?
I know. Unless you get
Unless
big
you're
boy job,
a
unless you get
doctor.
big boy jobs like Phil.
Oh, it's funny as you say that because being in a band got me the skills to do my job. When like stuff went sideways and we no longer had a label and we're doing a lot more on my own, I learned how to, manage the band, which is like making phone calls, talking to people I didn't know, and
Right.
answer my phone. I used to never answer my phone. Ever since call waiting, I've never answered my phone, right? Unless I knew who the person was. But now I'm making calls to people I don't know. I learned how to do budgets. I learned how to manage my money, the band's money, all those things, and you just when I got this job, those skills helped me do this job, talking to people and interacting with people that I don't know anything about them, but I have to, you know,
Well,
bring them
that's
in. And
great.
yeah.
That's great. And you know what? You're making me think, hey, because I'm doing the same. I'm doing like all the spreadsheets, all the budgeting for
Yeah.
every tour, for every freaking thing. I'm thinking, man, I could probably manage a Walmart. And I was reading the other day that they make a good living there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
You
You can.
As you're the manager, not the
Yeah.
greeter. Yeah.
Right. There's levels, right? Well, even, yeah, all the, I mean, there's places to get it. But again, there's a flip side though, right? So there's the benefit, having done both sides is you get a regular paycheck. Right. It didn't matter. I mean, we got a big publishing deal on our second record, right? We got a big publishing. I got a lot of money in the bank. I didn't know when my next paycheck was going to be. I didn't know when I was going to get more money. So I had to be very careful. Even though I had probably the most amount of money I ever had in my bank account, I just had to let it sit and just spend it, like carefully for the most part.
Right.
Because you don't know when it's coming again. Right. So now though, my bank account doesn't nearly look like that, but every week or every 2 weeks rather, I get paid and I know what's coming.
Yeah. That
And
must be
so
amazing.
it is.
Isn't that
dude, it is.
amazing? I couldn't even fathom. Could you? And I know I can tell, Jahred, you kind of probably live like me. I couldn't even fathom that, man. Like, imagine how. Like, I've been trying for 30 years, like walk away from this business and try and find a way to segue my skills into like some. But I mean, honestly, dude, it's the addiction and the adrenaline rush of like this business. It is. It's a fucking addiction, to a certain extent. Like I imagine like myself trying to like I could go and get a real estate license or sell cars or do something stupid like that, and I'd probably be amazing at it. But it's just like I couldn't. That'd blow my fucking head off, man. I'd swallow a shotgun. I don't think I'd be fulfilled. I don't care how much money. I just don't feel like I'd be fulfilled. I'd rather be broke as fuck.
Really? See,
Catching Phil to send me money, like doing what
Well,
I
you gotta
love
have
and
more,
doing
right?
this
Like,
with
like
my
the job
friends.
itself, the grueling, the job can be grueling. The job can be just mind numbing sometimes, right? Some days you're just like, what? Why am I doing this? Right? For me, it's because of the kids, right? My kids and family. I have to be able to support them. I have to have all the things, right? But if I didn't, I don't think I would stick around this long, right? No way. I would want, especially with the band coming up again. I'd be guys. We got to do this. We got to be out there. We got to be playing shows. We got to be making money while we can, strike while the iron's hot.
right.
Right. But I can't afford to do that. I got kids,
Dude, I hear you. But see, I just have to. For me, it's like I feel like if I was offered a job and then I could make enough money, then I would switch over.
Yeah.
Like he was talking about segueing or what they
Then you'd probably just go to like
what they were calling pivoting during COVID. Pivot, just pivot to something
a
else.
pivot. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just do
Well, and
that.
I've
It's
done
like
so,
I
like
wanted
I
to be
was.
able to do it.
Well, I did like 4 years. You don't know this, Jahred. Like 4 years ago, I had heart failure, and I died. Literally, I died. I was dead for 15 minutes. They revived me, and and I kind of had a falling out with my partner at the time, and everything I did just became bullshit in like a week that I worked on for like 6 years. And I just walked away from the business, and I kind of tried to pivot and do other things. And look, and I went and joined my partner now, who had a fledgling skateboard company, and now I run a skateboard company with him and do these other things. But it's funny because they're all music adjacent, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's dope as fuck. Like we make we make skippers for Guar, the Descendants, like huge. We're doing Dropkick Murphys. I mean, we do huge bands, and it's super fucking rad, and it's fun. But it's still music adjacent. You know what I mean? Like,
Which is
Dude.
great though, right? Like if you can, manage, use what you like, because if you don't want to discard everything and just come to something new, right? Like ideally, right? It's still something connected to what you know. Because my job was hard. I'm a maintenance supervisor. I started as maintenance supervisor. I'm a facility manager now. But when I first started, I know nothing about maintenance. I never fixed a thing I never owned a house before then. I didn't know how to fix anything. And here I am managing people, but I've learned it's more about because I don't have to do it. I just have to know who to call and who to get in there and that kind of thing. So it's different, but it's I don't know. I wish I was.
It's really just management. It's really just resource.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that
Right.
sounds like it's just
all
like
money
resource
based.
management, and that's
Well, the biggest thing about being a manager is managing people, right? Like it sounds
Right.
easy, but it's not, right? People are pains in the ass, right? They have their own opinions, they have their own ways they want to do things. But I mean, Jahred, you've been in a band long enough, you probably could, like, because you've had to deal with all sorts of people over the years, right? But
Yeah.
but you're also the leader, so it's kind of like, could you? I don't know.
I think I could learn it.
You could, man. You're a smart dude, man. You could do anything. I mean, look, any of us. I
Oh,
mean,
one
any
of-
of us on this thing, we're all smart fucking dudes.
Well, I
and
appreciate the kind words, but I've been trying to pivot, guys. It just hasn't worked out. This guy wants to know, Jahred, how's sobriety, bro? And I want James Blasco to know. I made it about 18 days and then had a glass of wine, but I haven't had any alcohol or anything for a few days, so I'm all right.
Good, man. Hey, I've been
I'm not
fully
feeding.
sober.
I'm not feeding.
I've been fully sober for like a decade now, man. It gets easy eventually, You're just like
Sober, being sober.
sober. Like
I
I don't
think
even
for
drink
me,
energy
it's
drinks
I
anymore. Like
spent
that's
my
how
whole
sober-
life like doing really hardcore chemicals and then quitting and all that. So then now that I'm a geezer and it's just like red wine and an occasional smoke, it's like it's too subtle for me to go, I need to quit.
Nah, no,
Although I definitely need to not be doing it too many days consecutively.
Right.
yeah, no, that's true. That's true. We can't go like the old days, man.
No. I couldn't even take it. Yeah, that's when it's unacceptable for men to do that.
Right.
That's
Hey,
more
yeah,
like kid shit.
Right. Exact. I mean, I know some dudes that still kind of go like that at our age, or they do.
Right.
I'm not gonna name any names, but they do, and they do it for a few days, but then they're like in bed for a week. Like they think they can still go like they did when we were 22, and they're like,
Well, you don't
55
end up
now,
like
and it's like that shit
shells.
don't work, dude.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like I love Shifty, but like look what happened to him. Like
I do too,
he's-
but
he goes to jail and then doesn't make it to the shows on tour. Hope he's sober now or whatever. But I'm saying like that's
and
what
then
happened.
that whole brawl thing, and then that whole stupid brawl thing
That's
with
sad, dude.
fucking with Bobby and that
Oh,
shit
dude,
ended up
yeah,
all over the internet. And that,
know Bobby then, right? You know
I do
Bobby.
know Bobby. I've known Bobby for 20 years. He's a good kid.
Yeah, he seems like he would be cool. Like the both of them are super cool, but you add like the drugs, and it's just like just mayhem.
Yeah, people don't act rationally, man.
A recipe
No.
for. I know.
Why do you think they call it dope?
Exactly.
Anyway.
Exactly. So Jason McQueen asks, "I'm interested to know how you guys balance the industry and family." Good question. Anyone?
What and family?
The industry.
How do you balance the
Well, for
industry
me,
and
they're like
family?
intertwined now, though. You know, like my 16-year-old, he learned to walk on tour buses and on the road. And, now it's just since I'm like at the top of the pyramid and just figuring every single thing out about head PE, it's just like part of my whole family it's intertwined. There's no
Right.
separating it. If the band doesn't do well, then the family's going to not be loving it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh yeah, and I'm
So,
sure
I
it
mean,
puts
I
you
don't
in
know
kind
what
of a
they mean. They
bad
may mean
place.
like, how do you balance being on the road? It's not a big deal, in terms of, because I'm not on the road all year long.
Yeah. Well, and your
Yeah,
kids
you
are
kind of get
older
used
now
to it.
too, right?
Family gets used to it.
Well, I have a 2.5-year-old daughter,
Oh
little
wow.
That's
princess.
wild,
You
dude.
still got a little
That
one.
was She's a COVID baby.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, like, well, my wife and I, we wanted a daughter forever, but then she never came. She never showed up. So we were just like, eh.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden during COVID, while I was home forever, then bam.
No way. So same mom, same everything, right? Same like
Yeah,
same wife the whole time.
yeah,
Wow. That's wild.
yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah, 14 years apart with my queen there.
Yeah.
And what we were talking about anyway. We're stoked that we had it then, because then I got my tubes tied, or whatever you call it,
Right.
because yeah, that's it for me.
That's well,
Right
congratulations,
on.
man. That's great.
Wow, it's so comfortable talking to you guys, because like when I do my streams, and if I would have gone this long, it would feel like 6 hours or something.
uh, no, so for me,
Right on. And plus you guys are giving me some insight on the ways other artists approach things.
well, like for us, like Taproot kind of went on our hiatus around like 2013 was our last run. Like we just, I mean, you remember 2013, dude. We were struggling, right? I imagine you guys were too. We are all kind of just struggling, right? So, and Steve was having health issues, so we went off the road, and I toured with Smile Through Soul for a bit. But other than that, once I got the regular job, I tried to distance myself from the music industry. I didn't want people knowing I was in it. I just want not because I was ashamed of it, just because I'd been that so long. I was trying to find out who I was in a way, right? Like, who am I without the music industry? Who am I without that? And now here we are, like 7, 8 years later, and I'm finally getting back comfortable with doing, having that in my life again. You know?
Dude, what a great story that is. I'm going to tell you what, Phil, like the hustle for me never stopped until COVID.
Yeah.
And then that was the moment where I was like, took a breath and was like, wow, look at this train ride I've had since I got signed. Cause like I never stopped to take a breath or smell the roses at all.
Well,
So,
it's funny you say, because I would have, if I was a singer, I would have. I had no ambition to be anything else. I had no desire to do anything else. Like, it wasn't my choice to stop, right?
mm,
It took the other guys saying, "Hey, dude, we're taking a break," for me to, because that was my life from the time I was like
right.
19 years old.
Mm,
When the band started doing, started doing stuff, and until I was, what was that, 34 or something, 35, something like that. Like
yeah.
almost 20 years of being in the band, just like it was weird to go away from it for a
Wow.
while and then come
Wow.
back and do it again, dude. I feel so appreciative now because we're seeing all the old fans that used to come out, dude. It's wild to be away from it and come back, and I think it's done better for our career in a way because people, I mean you guys are on tour all the time. Seven Dust, one of the things I feel like that it's good because you have to do it right, but I feel in a way it kind of hurts you.
Oh, definitely, because you're oversaturating the markets.
Right.
But yeah, believe me, I'm not doing it because I want to. I'm doing it because I have to. Not
Yeah.
that I don't love every single night that I get to grab a mic and start thrashing it. But I'm saying, yeah, I'd rather make myself more scarce so that people miss me but then my bank account misses money.
Right.
So luckily,
Yeah.
I can go overseas a bit. I'm going.
Right.
That's one thing that the major label did was give us a presence in Europe and Eastern Europe and freaking Australia. So we'll be going there this year to both of those markets. But
Nice.
dude, the COVID really fucked me up.
Yeah.
Like as a, I'm
Me
sure,
too.
dude. Like I've always like been able to circumnavigate any type of national catastrophe, right? Whether it's the housing industry or this or that and the third. My band's still playing and we're still going to bars and rocking. But then all of a sudden, COVID, dude,
Whole nother
bro,
animal, right?
I'm still recovering in a big way.
Yeah. So what did you do during that time when you just couldn't play shows?
Got money from the government.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did like 35 features, meaning for 35
Oh,
different artists around
right.
the world. I got
Holy
paid
shit.
for doing verses and
Gotcha.
hooks. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I
that's smart,
wouldn't
but
have made it without.
see, that's called a pivot, Jahred. That's a good
I
example
don't
of
think
a
so
pivot.
because it's so head PE related.
Oh, it
Right.
is, but it's not what you usually do. I mean, you're not, you found
The slight
a
pivot. The
different
slight
way
pivot.
to bring in income, but
Right.
it's not touring. You couldn't tour. That's your main source of income. That's smart though. That's awesome.
Well,
I made like
yeah.
3 records during COVID. I did the same fucking thing.
You know,
That's what I did too. Yeah.
one thing I will say about working a regular job that, like I said, there's some days where it's like, what is the point of all this? It's so stupid. Some of it can just be, like I said, mind numbing paperwork, nonsense. But having to doing the shows again, I'm more appreciative of being out on the road than I've ever been, even at the beginning, right? Like at the beginning, it's new, it's exciting, and it's fun. And not that I didn't have great times, but now I'm just like, this is just fun, right? And also because I don't have to do it.
Right. Oh, you're so lucky. I envy you. That's amazing. But yeah, like in terms of being grateful, like that's one thing for sure that like during the first heyday, I wasn't grateful at all and was not present in my mind at
Right.
all to what was going on. Then in the second one, when we had a song called Renegade that hit the top 30 and we were kind of on a second heyday, I was more present, like going, "Wow, wow, look at this! This is great." But what you're saying, yeah, it's interesting because I listened to I don't know if you guys watch UFC at all, but this guy named Dustin Poirier
Oh yeah,
was
dude. Oh,
yeah, I'm a huge fan of his, and he was just saying on an interview how he really you never know when it's the last walk to the
yeah.
octagon, so just really enjoying even though being scared, enjoying being scared, and embracing that.
Right. Enjoying every aspect because that's part of what you're doing, right?
Right.
So I loved. Did you watch the fight the other night?
Oh yeah, dude, all of them.
How nice was that win for Dustin, man? Sorry for spoilers for anyone that hasn't seen it yet.
I'm
But oh
so
my god,
stoked. I was so stoked on that, and I was
that
rooting
guy
for.
you fought that was such a freaking monster.
Right. Dustin was rare on one of those rare nights where he was the underdog, right?
Yeah, and it looked like it, dude. That guy was all over him that first round, man.
Dude, yeah. But
Like
Dustin
didn't
has
give him a breath.
boxing,
Yeah, dude, he stuck in there. Dustin is tough as nails, man. I love that guy.
yeah, dude, he's something else.
Yeah,
I think that like if you flash back to that punch that knocked out Dustin when Connor knocked him out,
yeah,
I think it's because he was cutting too much weight. Because the way he takes punches now, it's just like he just like brushes them off.
yeah. Right. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
right. He fought lighter back then, right? Was that
Yeah, he
one?
was at 145 when that
Yeah.
happened, and now at 155, he's just like
Much better weight. He looks healthier too, man. You see, he's filled out.
Fucking
He's not
tank.
just a scrawny. Yeah,
right, dude.
yeah. Good.
Yeah, I
People.
saw the prelims. I watched all of them.
Nice.
Somebody wants to know what we think about Jake Paul and Tyson. I think it's good for Mike Tyson to get a big payday, but it's kind of a cringe fight, isn't it?
Very much so. Yeah, it's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah.
I mean, I would
Watch-
love to
I'm
see Tyson
gonna-
knock his ass out. I would love to see Tyson just come, like,
There's every chance that he could, too.
just put down all the drugs and just focus on fighting, dude. He can. I don't know. I think he could.
I think he could. catch him in the pocket. And
I
just
don't know. Jake Paul's for a YouTuber. Jake Paul's become a pretty
good though.
bad
no, he's legit, man.
Though.
He is
I'll give
legit.
it up, man. I mean,
No, he's
it's gonna
good.
be interesting. I mean, what is he like? He is. I mean, he's a fucking
57,
beast.
dude.
Like, and he's
Like a
young.
30-year age
I don't know. I mean, Tyson. I mean, it's interesting to see like if Tyson, if he's gonna have quickness, like what his power. I mean, Mike Tyson was just all fucking power. Now he's what, 70 years old? You know what I mean? Like, how old is he? He's this.
Yeah, he's got to be like 56 or something. But dude, there's like footage of him training, and he looks pretty scary.
Oh yeah, dude.
Tyson, yeah, dude, he looks pretty fucking scary.
But we saw him in the Roy Jones fight recently, right?
I don't think.
I mean,
I didn't see that one.
No.
What did it look like?
Looked like a couple older boxers fight.
Yeah. But I mean,
it
like,
wasn't terrible.
Shape where Roy Jones is not in shape at all.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not like he was, man. Roy Jones was so dependent on his like speed and athleticism and timing, dude. He was, yeah. Tyson is a monster. We'll see.
Yeah, he is. Right on, fellas. It says here I had a Taproot Tuesday sold out show at the machine shop, but I didn't have a ride. Oh, that's no.
Why didn't you call Uber, G?
You want to take an Uber in Flint?
Yeah.
Must have been from the before.
Yeah, but dude, I lived in LA for 25 years, man. I used to go have breakfast in Watts, man. I went and had lunch with Rudy Ray Moore in the middle of Crenshaw one day. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'll take anything anywhere. I don't give a shit.
That's the way my DJ guy, DJ Product, Head PE, famous DJ.
Yeah, God, I love Doug.
Go anywhere, and there's tons of pale-faced people that feel comfortable in any situation, but
dude, he just had to be worried about getting kicked out of places because people thought he was homeless.
Right.
Hey, buddy, move it along. Dude, he looked like a homeless man.
I'm trying to DJ.
Dude, I love it.
Right, he looked like a homeless Muppet. Love that guy, man. He still plays shows with us. He's amazing.
Okay,
I
awesome.
love it. I remember a couple of. Sorry.
Go ahead.
What were you saying, Philly?
I don't know. Good.
Everybody's saying hi to Nonpoint. Apparently, they were here and I missed it.
Oh, I missed it too. Then okay.
I don't see it even in the comments. Yeah, I'm sure Robert, somebody popped in to say hi. They do a lot. We were just talking about you guys before and how much we love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love.
Oh, he used to do the Sparky. Does he still do this? Like the?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was that period when.
Stage. The thing is, like, dude, if Head PE was huge and we're, we'd have product and it'd just be great and all that. Right now, it's just bare bones, like drums, bass, guitar, vocals, because that's the only room there is in the van or whatever.
Yeah.
Who's doing drums for you guys?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, this guy named Trauma, who's been playing with me for like 16 years.
He's great,
now.
man. I love Trauma, dude. I couldn't remember his name. I'm like, is Trauma still with you guys? That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. That's my guy, dude. He's irreplaceable.
Dude, his energy and his attitude is fantastic.
He's irreplaceable.
Yeah.
And I remember for a minute. I mean, fuck, this was probably 10 years. This is probably 10 years ago now. But I remember for a minute, Mark was back in the band and Dougie. And Mark, didn't he just have like visa issues constantly? Because he's from Europe, right? Like, I guess.
He's Africa, right?
Visa issues, like.
He's back in England, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot of players. It's been fun because each one kind of leaves me with a little bit of flavor that I didn't have before. But there's always that foundation that is the Head PE sound that was developed by the original guitar players, yada yada. And it was kind of just the flavor of that moment in time, but It's just a
And they
trip
were
to
both bad
refresh
mother, and they were
the
both,
90s.
and they were both bad motherfuckers, dude. Man, Chad
Oh
was a
yeah,
bad motherfucker. Wes was a bad, and then when Sonny came in, Sonny was a bad motherfucker too. You know.
yeah, bro, totally. And then my kid after that, whose name was Jackson, he was really insane too. A great writing partner.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's just to keep on going as long as until the wheels fall off.
Yeah, right. Huh.
Oh God, no, thank you for that, Brian. I appreciate the sentiment, but yeah, I got enough shit to deal with. I fuck. What's up, Jason Gooley, Jackson? But yeah, dude, you did. You always found really good dudes. The band's always been really consistent and really solid. I mean, how long has it been now? I mean, it 20, 25 years, 26 years. I mean,
Well,
let
I
me see.
mean, let's see. Yeah, definitely the band would have started in 93 with the first record coming out, and I
Oh
think
God, it
like
was 93. So
96. The first record came out in 96, I want to say. So,
The one
so
on
that's
Jive, right?
30,
That first
30
one.
yeah,
years.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
we're getting up there.
30. No, it's
But you know
30
what the
years
trip
last
too
year.
is like, dude, I've had, like I say, trauma for over 15 years now.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And then
That's
my
crazy.
Holy crap! Right.
bass player now for almost 10.
Huh.
I mean, those guys
And
have
then
been in the band longer than the original guys were at this
yeah,
point,
yeah.
almost.
And then
It's crazy.
the new guitar player, Javier, I'll tell you what, this lineup right now has some really sweet energy. This particular lineup is fucking a good one.
Nice.
I'm really grateful. There are a couple of good players graduated from MIT in LA, Music Institute, so they know their shit, but they know how to thrash it out too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
Because if you're really good at your instrument, have to know how to kind of back off and just, thrash it out.
Can't be super clean and perfect all the time.
Right. Right, bro.
Well, I think the cool thing about Head B though is it always had that kind of it was metal and hip hop, but it always had that kind of punk rock aesthetic to it. Lends itself to that, to a little bit of just more kind of
And I learned it.
rocking out. That like everything's not.
I'm saying Wes and Chad,
Oh,
it's
that-
like I know I was there and we all live together, and so I know what goes into sound, or I know.
Yeah.
I have an idea of what goes into what you just described, which is metal and jazz and thrashy punk. You know what I mean? And what's what Phil just said. It's kind of loosening up your grip on that fucking axe and laying, fucking do some shit that's not so virtuoso based.
All right.
What true punk rock is like
Yeah.
a guy who can't play well, who doesn't care and just
Yeah,
plays
exactly.
and fucking rocks. But if a guy plays well, he has to kind of back it up, right?
Yeah. That punk rock is all about attitude, man. That was, I mean, in the original era, you guys. I mean, in every era of Head B though, you guys are always dope, but it's always really good. But at the same time, like it's just that energy, which is what Head P was about. It was always just about as much about this like fucking fucked up, dirty punk rock energy. I mean, I remember the first time I saw you guys in fucking Orange County and playing in Hollywood, like before the first record, and you guys were just this super kind of weird, like almost punk rock band. That was what was
Right. We
still
called it
sticks in
G
my
punk.
head. Yeah,
We called it G punk, which was an
Yep,
evolution of
that's
the
right.
term G funk, and no, excuse me, P funk, which is Parliament funkadelic.
P-Funk to G-Funk.
Right? Right, and then a P Funk went to G Funk, which was like what Dr. Dre was calling his stuff because he was sampling a lot of Parliament, right?
Right. Yeah.
So like then we called our stuff G Punk because we were influenced by Dre and some of that kind of just like eeriness of gangster rap. So that was cool. Yeah. And what you're saying about like punk rock being an attitude, yeah, punk rock is different things to different people, but it definitely is having that just like that attitude, because like to me, it's punk rock for a kid to pick up a fucking laptop, program a beat, and start yelling just to that beat. That to me is punk rock. You know what I mean? doesn't have to have guitar to
Oh
be
yeah.
punk rock,
Right.
right? Like to me, like some of these rappers, like this kid my son listens to named Playboy Cardi, like he plays that for me, and I'm like, that's punk rock.
Yeah.
Because the guy's all, he's not trying to sound good. Like to me, punk means you're not always trying to sound so glossy. You're not always dressing up to please
Right.
everyone. You're just doing it.
A little more raw sometimes.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude. So what kind of stuff influenced you? Like what got you into music? How did you end up singing in a rock band, man? I mean, what influenced you, and how did you get from point A to point head PE? How did that happen?
Oh wow, because let's see. I just remember when I was like in junior high and first hearing like Van Halen Eruption and going, whoa. And then like eating mushrooms and going to see Rush, moving pictures and Tom Sawyer and and then hearing Led Zeppelin and then I would go to kegger parties and sing along to some of these classic rock tunes, and my friends would be like, "Gomez, that sounds great." So then, I would try to get into metal bands back there, but like these white boys with their long, beautiful hair were just not into the little black boy with his nappy hair, little afro. So, I kept doing my thing. I kept doing my thing until finally, when I was 32, I got signed after doing a bunch of different bands, between 18 and 32. But then finally, when hair metal died, and then grunge came, and then like Chili Peppers, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh wow. And then I don't know, the timing hooked up perfectly for me to
And then
do my
Corn came right after that.
exactly. And I would think like my story is that because of Corn in the before time, before the internet, Corn had a light. Well, there was a lot going on in Orange County though, because you had like
Yeah.
even before Corn, there were like
They were LAPD.
offspring and fucking what's the no doubt,
No doubt. Yeah.
and so
Oh
there
yeah.
was some like
And they were fucking
successful
huge. I mean, No Doubt was huge, huge before they
right.
got
So
signed and blew up.
I'm sure as an A&R guy back in those days, A&R guys would hunt out scenes,
Yeah.
to try and find a band or several bands that had a scene going, you
Yeah.
know. And so that's what I feel like we were caught up in that because the Corn, the Deftones, Human Waste Project, the Shrinky Dinks,
Snot.
who later turned into what's Mark McGrath's band?
Oh, Sugar
Sugar
Ray.
Ray. Sugar Ray.
Right, and then
Sugar Ray.
9/11, or excuse me, 3/11 would come through, so that was kind of, it was bubbling up, and I feel
Yeah.
like we got caught up in that,
Yeah.
there was a tension in
Yeah.
the area, and we were doing good. We were selling out clubs in Southern Cali and sold like 3,000 of our homemade demos, from out of skate shops and thrift shops, and anyway, we got on the radar of Jive Records.
Oh yeah.
But at the time, like Warner Brothers and other labels were also interested, but I feel like our manager, rest in peace, was like just going for whoever offered the most cash
Is
rather
that
than
what it was?
best
I was going to
fit.
ask why Jive because it's such a weird choice. They didn't have any,
Yeah,
and as an A&R guy and a manager, I've been on both sides of that. It's such a curious choice because Jive didn't have a rock roster. I mean, at the time, all they had was Tool that I think was technically on Volcano, but it was part of Jive.
right.
Jive didn't have any rock. Tedesco was a rock dude, and he wanted to. That's why he hired me because he was like, "Dude, you're so in
Yeah, but
touch with all
Tedesco,
this stuff."
it was Jeff Fenster that signed us,
Fenster, yeah, Fenster, yep, yep,
because
yeah.
Tedesco, I don't think he liked Head PE, dude.
Oh, he loved Ted B, dude. He loved Ted B. But
Oh,
Fenster,
really?
yeah.
Because he
Jeff was
always,
Michael's boss. No, Michael.
I don't know.
Technically, I worked for both of them. I worked for both. I
Right, right.
worked for Jeff and for Michael. Michael was the guy who I directly reported to me. Yeah, I worked for Fenster too. So, yep, that's
Okay.
right.
Who was your
Right.
manager
I'm
back then?
just saying, in terms of vibes, like I never got a vibe from Tedesco that he liked what I was doing. I got that vibe from
That's so
Fence.
weird because he loved you
Yeah.
guys. He was your biggest
Right?
champion. That's what's so weird.
Oh wow, dude! I'm so glad to hear you say that. That erases a lot of whatever I was thinking. But
Yeah.
dude, they made us wait 5 years though before between first and second record. That was gnarly, dude.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That was
But
terrible.
look at how good. When you say first record, you mean your debut on Jive and Broke,
Yeah.
or you
Yeah.
mean before you? Yeah. I mean, look at how good Broke turned out. It was such a just like such an evolution. Like you guys really played a lot of show. Really got your. I mean, it was just such a. You guys came out of the other end of that 5 years, such a different band though, and that
No, you're
scene
right.
by then had evolved. And they were probably right because that scene was bubbling over that whole time. And by the time Broke came out, it was just like, boom, done. You know
No,
what I
and
mean? So it might not have
because
been
of like the
I'm sure it was
hardship,
brutal
that
for you
exists-
guys.
Right, dude. I'm sorry. Because of the hardship that existed, that's why Broke turned out the way it did. Because, dude, all the money they gave us was gone after 5 years. We were like, what the fuck is going on? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right
Well, I
on.
know, and I know that first record didn't sell anything. You didn't make anything. You weren't really even touring that much on that. You guys didn't really tour that much on that
Right.
first record, did you?
Not enough,
So there probably
dude.
wasn't.
Not that I
We
saw.
sat
I was looking
home
for
a
you guys.
lot, dude. We sat home a lot. I think the only tours we were getting was with like Soulfly, which was amazing. But we were sat home until finally Max was like, "Okay, come with us."
That's awesome. I fucking love those guys, man. I just went and saw Max and Gloria last week. Max is in another band called Go Ahead and Die with his kid, and they played in Chicago at Reggie's last
And the
week,
kid's
and I
name
went
is
down
Joe.
and did. I
Dude, yeah, right on. That is so cool. I would love to go to that show.
It's awesome. Max just plays guitar. His kid plays guitar and sings. I mean, and it's the kid's band. Max is just kind of his sideman guitar player, and it's super,
so
super
weird. That's
fucking. It's super dope. It's super. Yeah, super cool.
That's amazing.
All right, Tom, I got to wrap it up, man. It's getting late for
I
me.
wish this connection wasn't sucking so much dick.
I know,
I'm
right?
sorry, guys. We'll do it again, and I'll
All
fucking
right,
just
Billy.
use my laptop.
Oh, dude, Jahred, this is. Yeah,
But
dude,
what's
it's been
funny
so
is
much
you guys
fun.
only hear me
I
like
didn't know
you
you
guys
were
are
on your
hearing me
laptop this whole
10
time.
seconds after I say something.
Seems like it, right? Sometimes.
I
Oh no,
don't
you're
know,
good.
dude.
It's just the internet connection's kind of shitty for some reason. We got a little lag. No, it's all. Dude, this was so much fun. Can't wait to see you, Jahred. Let's catch. I'll text you. I got your number still. Let's catch
Love
up.
you guys,
Billy.
man. It's
I'll talk
great
to you
catching
brother.
up.
Yeah, man.
Good to talk to you
It was
guys,
fun.
man. I really appreciate it.
We'll see you on the road, brother.
All right.
All right, guys.
All
Peace
right,
out.
everybody. Say goodbye to Jahred.
Good night.
All right. Yeah, it's been echoing. It is. It is what it is.
Still on.
And already. Stop.